Imo West Senator Rochas Okorocha on Thursday, June 12, declared that Igbo Presidency does not exist in Nigeria. Also, INEC has responded to Presidential Elections Petition Tribunal, saying that it has no server to be inspected by the People's Democratic Party, PDP. This is Plus Politics, and I am Mary Anna Cohn. Finally, Rochas Okorocha has received a certificate of return and has been sworn in as senator representing Imo West district in the National Assembly. However, it is what he says about Igbo Presidency that sparked our interest this evening. Well, joining me to discuss this, I have Ugochukwu Ikaka joining us. He's a political analyst. It's good to have you join us.
Thanks for having me.
And of course, you are of the Igbo extract, so you would be able to speak better on this issue. But what we've heard the Igbo presidency thrown about over time, from Obasanjo's era to Jonathan, and here we are again, we're hearing it. But then when Rochas Okorocha says there is no such thing, that, you know, the Igbo people or the Southeasterners should forfeit that idea, what exactly do you think he's talking about?
Well, last time I checked, nobody made Rochas Okorocha the spokesman or the spokesperson for the Igbo people all over the world. So that is his own personal opinion, and it holds no weight. All right. For me, the most important thing, election comes up every 4 years. Right. I don't think at this point we'll have somebody like an Igbo person that cuts across board that will appeal to everybody, all part of Nigeria, the North.
Why do you think so? I mean, there are so many strong Igbo personalities out of the Southeast. They might not be diehard politicians, but are you saying that there is no Igbo person who could speak the language that would get every other person, not just the Southeasterners,
for me,
to stand behind them?
I said at this point, all right, politics is a game of numbers, all right, and we've seen since 2015, if there's what the Buhari comment taught us is that the people need somebody they can identify with. The people need somebody that can that they have that sense of oneness with. All right, that was one factor that worked very well for Buhari in 2015. All right, and in 2019 election, he was still able to use that to win a ticket, even though the case is still at the court, because people bought into him. So for me, if there's anybody that's seriously interested in being the president of Nigeria, the first thing I'm looking at is not whether he's Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, he's Kanuri, or he's from Efik. Is he competent? Does the person have the character, the wisdom, the technical know-how? What is required of the person to be the president of Nigeria? So if the person have that and can be able to make sure that the bridge across the whole part of the country is connected and connect the people and make the people believe in that candidate themselves, when that time comes, the Nigerians will
I'd like to take your attention to some of the things he said when he was given his certificate of return. He said it was only when leaders of various geopolitical zones in the country were convinced that the Igbos deserved to be president, only then will the dream come true. Again, it still beats me because he's tried to run for president over and over and he wasn't successful at that. Could that be the reason why he's saying, or maybe he's seen things that...
I think I disagree with him on this particular when he said deserve to be president when the whole part of the country. I think this country does not belong to anybody, all right? We still want to believe that, because at the end of the day... It belongs
to us all, I guess.
It belongs to all of us. It belongs to the smallest tribe. All right? We have close to 250 ethnic different tribes in Nigeria. So somebody from Bida, somebody from the New Page, everybody have a say in it, all right? So it does not belong to anybody to say the leaders in the geopolitical zone. No, because these leaders in different geopolitical zones, we have six geopolitical zones, they don't make themselves leaders. It's the people that make them the leader. So these leaders themselves cannot...
But that could also be debatable when you say that the people make them, make the leaders. A lot of people who are representing people in the National Assembly, some people would tell you they didn't vote for that person. If
you didn't vote for the person...
It's debatable. I'm not saying it's a fact.
Even if you didn't vote for the person, there was an election. And we all know that in democracy, the person that has the biggest number wins. So maybe the person that voted in the last election, and the person that voted to go into the National House of Assembly lost. All right? And somebody else is already in the National Assembly, the National Assembly. Will I not come out and say that I didn't vote for this person? Even if I didn't vote for him. Somebody has voted for him.
And he's representing you.
Yes, and he's representing me. So whether I like him or not, he's my representative. So for me, I don't think this is the most important conversation right now, right? Rochas has been somebody, if you ask me, that is very self-centered.
I'm sorry, Hugo. Why is it not important? Again, are you trying to pander to what he's saying? Because if you say it's not the most important thing, do the Igbos not deserve their own time?
No. It's not the most important conversation right now. All right, the most important conversation should be, okay. Already we have the country is divided across different ethnic lines. All right, we could see that during the last the first tenure of President Buhari, he said some things that kind of that inflamed ethnic sentiments across the country. So for me, I think the most important thing right now is, okay, we should have conversation that bridge all those divide, make the people have a sense of oneness. The most important thing for somebody from the South should be, at this point, is the second Niger Bridge, having a seaport down the south side, maybe at Port Harcourt or the Ibaka seaport. So that can help them push just trade. Right? If Rochas is going to the National Assembly, and after all his fight over the last few months, and the first thing he's telling us there is about presidency, he's trying to be, for me, he's being self-centered, right? The most important thing, he is representing Imo West, right? You're going there to push about the plans and what the people want, right? We'll have businessmen, we'll have people that have industrialists, entrepreneurs from that is senatorial district. What do they want? These are the conversations supposed to drive, because at the end of the day, whenever President Buhari's tenure ends, if he goes up by the court, or maybe after the next 4 years he leaves the office, when the time comes for election, Nigerians will elect somebody they deem credible, be it from the minority tribe, be it from one of the majority tribe. It's about that. It's not about who the leaders decide or not. Because at the end of the day, even if there's a conversation at the end of behind. Are
you sure that Rochas Okorocha is not trying to send a message that there are kingmakers in this country, and no matter what or who we want, those people decide who rules us? Are you sure there is no undertone to what he was trying to convey?
There might be an undertone. I'm not going to deny him that, but for me, at the end of the day, sometimes I think I tend to see democracy as an illusion. All right, because even the party primaries, at the end of the day, the party themselves select whoever they want to select, and whoever the party select as a candidate is the candidate that we get to vote for. All right, so we'll see that we're voting for the candidate of a party, not even the candidate of our choice. But that is part of democracy. You can argue that as part of maybe the demerits of democracy. But as it stands right now, in terms of being the president of Nigeria, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, even if the elites, even if the political leaders or the political heavyweights, whatever you want to call them, decide and say that they want to pick Okeke Okafor, that's an Igbo person, right? Or Okeke Okonkwo, Igbo person. If Okeke Okonkwo does not appeal to the man in Zamfara, does not appeal to the man or the woman in Katsina, in Benue, in Gembu, in Far Taraba, and if you cannot unite them, if you cannot give them a sense of purpose to key into your candidate, even if everybody getting, even if the main political wave getting behind it, if the people do not see you as one of them, as someone that can offer them value, there is no need, because we've seen people that have political heavyweight back and they've lost in this country. We've seen a former president lost in this country. So it's not like the political heavyweight is like the anointing that they give you, everything will be fine for you.
Now let's go back to what Okorocha said. He also made mention of the fact that there is a need for Igbos to mend fences. He says we're neither here nor there. Now, politically, we're not in the ruling party, neither are we making impacts in the opposition. So there's a need for us to get married to the rest of the nation politically. Is there no sense?
There's no sense in it. Okorocha is speaking as someone that does not understand the core culture of an Igbo person. All right? An Igbo man, first of all, is a Republican. All right, he's not somebody that you want to say, okay, being the dominant party, being the major party because he's an Igbo person. No, all right. We're talking about people that after the war, you gave them £20. All right, across all board. A lot of them now have multi-billion business across the country. It shows you that they do what they want to do. Right. The thing is that the problem we have in this country is that we're trying to analyze each other with the understanding we have about ourselves. Right? There's no way I can accurately predict or say, okay, this is how to live with somebody from the north or somebody from the west. I need to see the person, okay, how does this person see himself? How does this person understand himself? That is how we can have that relationship. You cannot, because maybe the current party is APC, and you are thinking, okay, if you have policies or you have plans that are, to an extent, some people say it's anti-Igbo, or that is not favorable to Igbo people, because a lot of them are business people, you don't expect them to cower or to bow down before you because maybe you are the president or you're the governor. No, all right. The most important thing to a lot of them, I'm speaking because I know this, is business. They just want to face their business, just want to do their work, they just want to make sure that the enterprise is thriving. So if you cannot connect to them based on that, it does not make any sense. And also, they need to see beyond what you say, beyond the rhetoric, all right, you push out through your media aids and the rest of them. People need to understand that your policies are favorable to them, all right. People need to understand that even if you're trying to track down, IPOB members and the rest of them in this southeast, do it in regards to what the law says. So, and that is the only way you can have this conversation. So, what Rochas is saying as a party man, not somebody that understands the plight of the people. I'm sure that if you ask the Organizing Igbo chairman, as Mr. Nwodo, he's going to disagree with him because for him, first of all, he's speaking as a party man. All right, this is Rochas that for the last few weeks he has been battling with his party chairman, battling with everybody in the party,
and INEC.
So now that he's giving his ticket back, let me use that word in quote, I think he will try much as possible to say things that will please his party. The truth is this: he's not the best in the best position to say anything about the Igbo people, because even as a governor, some people think, and I think I'm one of them that believe that he failed in his quality as a governor.
Well, we have a clip of Governor Rochas Okorocha when he received his certificate of return, and he had a few words to say. Let's take a listen.
It will be my pleasure to rebuild this bridge, to reconnect this bridge, so that the Southeast people will move along and same pace with other geopolitical zones politically. My second mission to the National Assembly will be what has been very dear to my heart and which I have practiced as a governor of Imo State, to see the possibility of making free education a reality so that the children of the poor can go to school. If I achieve this, I'll be glad that I have achieved what I decided to do as a member of the Senate. The third one is I'm concerned about the killings and destruction of lives in the northern part of this country, especially the northeast, and recently Zamfara and Kaduna. Whatever we can do at the floor of the Senate to help the executive curb these insurgents will be to my greatest pleasure. I'll be here to work with my colleagues. The Southeast cannot just fold their hands and wait power to be given to them. And someone will just give you power because you want power. Power does not go with sentiment some of the times. It goes with issues on ground. And democracy is about the people, a majority of the people. And Southeast alone cannot make themselves president. So you cannot be talking about Igbo presidency. It doesn't exist. So you might be talking about Nigerian president of Igbo extraction, but that is also depending on what other geopolitical zones think about the issue. So Igbos cannot just be president alone.
So the words of Rochas Okorocha, very slick, but then he made mention of the fact that Igbos can't sit down and expect that power will come to them. That's not possible. He also mentions the fact that he's concerned about the killings, and I'm wondering, I haven't really heard him talking about the killings, and he's been governor for so long.
Like I started with saying that Rochas is a very self-centered politician, all right? Till a few weeks back, like I said, 2 weeks, May 29, that was like a few days ago, all right? He was part of the Federal Executive Council as the governor of Imo State, right? He had every chance, he had every opportunity to talk to the president to say, okay, there have been killings all over the country. What are you doing? What can we do? All right? What can the Federal Executive Council do to help stop these killings across Zamfara? If he feels like he doesn't want to say anything because it's far from his state, the killings happen close to Imo State. It happened in Enugu State. It happened in Benue State. All right? So he didn't say anything up to this point. All right? He's trying to tell us about the killings. Whereas when he was a governor, he had more influence. He had more chance to speak to the president, because as at that point, he'll be speaking as the governor of Imo State, millions of Imo people across the country and across the world. So he didn't do that, all right? So I don't think he's going to do much. And for what he's saying about Igbo people expecting that, no, I think it's wrong for him. And I think it's disrespectful to Igbos all over the world that Rochas is saying this. Because the truth is, Igbos have never asked anybody to give them anything in this country. Anybody can quote me. Igbos have never asked anybody to give them anything. Whatever we need, whatever we want in terms of sports, in movies, and everything like that, we'll go out and do it, right? Nollywood today is thriving because somebody started it. And the person is an Igbo person, Kenneth Nebo, the living in bondage guy. So a lot of things people have done in terms of in different aspects. They never for one day said, okay, we want government to do this for us, one government to do that. What we're asking, see, for me, I don't. If I live till maybe 90s and I don't get to see an Igbo president, I don't think I will feel bad. Right? I need, whether the person is from Gembu in Taraba, as far as he's competent. We're under one Nigeria, and the person do his job very, very well. That all the dividends of democracy, all right, everything that is supposed to accrue to the people is shared equally, all right. The roads are functioning, everything. So what is my business whether you're an Igbo president or not? As far as you're in Nigeria.
There was a time, and I said that, I made mention of that when we started this conversation, when there was a push for an Igbo presidency. It was, because we have that whole zoning system in our Nigerian politicking, and then the Igbos will say, well, it's time for the mantle to come to our side or our region. I think
that argument, people make the argument just like a sense of inclusive government belong to.
But that's what the Constitution allows. The whole
the zoning. I don't think the zoning is in the Constitution.
Zoning is not in the Constitution,
so
but then we have federal character, and so people make arguments of that federal character when they bring in the zoning, the zoning thing of a formula to the table.
The same way we have a president from the north, because you have two people on a party's ticket. For example, APC, that's President Buhari from Katsina, Vice President Imo West from Ogun State, right? Atiku had P2B from Anambra State. So if Atiku had one, that means an Igbo person, that means since after the war that got close, that's after Ikweme got close to being a vice president. So what I'm saying, for me, the most important thing, what he's trying to say is that the other key position, right? If the government of the day wants to give anybody that it feels that is competent enough, maybe SGF, chief of staff, whatever position they feel that the person is competent, or maybe somebody that is an Igbo extraction, give the person. But the most important thing is not about giving position, because at the end of the day, only the Basanjo had Anyim Pius Anyim, who was the SGF, all right? We had the late Chobo Kadibo from Obunike. He was the Senate president. What did they do? The position did not do much for the people.
It brings to my question, because we tussle a lot, or we rather make a lot of noise about appointments from this place and that place. And then I ask, does that mean that whoever is being appointed is going to be working in your interest? I mean, because most of these offices are supposed to be in the general interest of Nigeria. So does it matter where the person is from?
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter for me whether the person from Benin Kebbi, right? Whether the person from Bauchi. If the president feels, all right, because of the sense of federal character, already we'll have the speaker from the south, we'll have the vice president from the south. Yeah, there are other competent people you can see across board, right? The same way you have maybe the police head is from the north, the navy head might be from the southwest. These are part of federal character. It's in the Constitution. You do all that, you just keep position different ethnic groups to make sure that everybody feels a sense of belonging and oneness. That is that, and which is okay. But the most important thing is that, talking about Igbo presidency or not, if it will happen, to happen. But it's not the most important thing right now. The most important thing is that for people that are elected, both in the National Assembly, in the State Assembly, the presidency, they say to deliver on their mandate. That is the most important thing to somebody an Igbo person living in Borno, doing his business over there, because he needs the environment to be safe, he needs the environment to be peaceful so they can thrive. The same thing with the Igbo person that is far somewhere in Ogoja or Ugeb. The person wants just to thrive and to do business. He doesn't care who is the president or not. He just wants to make sure that if I'm importing my goods, right, it takes me like 750,000 to get my goods from China to Nigeria. But to move it from the Apapa port down to the east, I pay close to 1 million naira. So it does not make sense. So the conversation should be, how do we make life favorable for everybody in Nigeria? Whether the person is from is Efik, is Ibibio, is Anang, it does not matter. So for me, when Rochas and the rest of them go to the National Assembly, this is the first conversation they have. You ask and say, what have they been doing with their lives, right? Because the most important thing should be drive governance, drive conversation to bring the country as one, right? We should push conversation that will make the country as one. People intermarry every day in this country, right? Igbos marry.
Well, he said there should be mending of fences. Do you think there are any Igbo fences that need to be mended? Is there any form of disaffection within the Igbo folk?
There is a level of disaffection, and especially the way the president handled the Southeast during his first tenure, right? We have people like Ngige, who was the former governor of Anambra State as minister, and the rest of them. But the way way he handled the issue with IPOB, all right, with what's it called, Nnamdi Kanu and his people, the way he handled that didn't give people a lot of confidence in his person, all right. He didn't visit the Southeast, all right, throughout, I think he visited during when he was campaigning, and we saw the pictures that came from Aba. People didn't go out to go and see him when he was at the stadium. So there's this level that people feel, okay, this president doesn't want to connect with us. This president feels like maybe we're not important to him, because this is the same president that said that he's doing the first thing that his campaign promised the 97 and the 5%. So already the people get this vibe on the street that, okay, this president doesn't want to do anything for us. This president doesn't want to do it. So it's not about the people. You shouldn't. The president is the GCFR, the Grand Commander of the Republic of Nigeria. He's in position to make sure that everybody in this country, whether they voted for you or not, feel a sense of oneness. He owes it to us as a father of the nation, with his vice president, to make sure that, see, whether you vote for me or not, the most important thing is the Nigeria project. So if there are people that feel aggrieved because, okay, so far the president has not done much for us, the president has not done anything for us, we've not received appointment, we've not received a key appointment, employment in different places, yeah, that is fine. People should feel aggrieved because that's the right thing to do. Those signals, the president should get it, interpret it rightly to know these people are feeling aggrieved not because they hate me, it's because I've not done my job very, very well. And that is the problem. And that is what Rochas failed in the last 4 years to do as a governor, because if he has done his job very well as the former governor of Imo State, to interpret this thing accurately for the president, believe me, the president would have visited. Believe me, the president would have done some other things. Then because they all go there just say, hey, sir, you are doing well, the president might not see reason to believe, because these are the only people that he comes across. So Rochas said all the things he has said to the president in the past that got him to this need. Now he's still saying another one to get his interest. So Igbos don't need people like Rochas. Okay, interesting. We want to say thank you for this segment, but you're not going anywhere. Ugochukwu Keko is a political analyst. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll be talking about INEC. So recently, INEC has said they don't have servers, and that is really alarming. Some people would call it bombastic. We'll be right back after the break.